But when Sunday caught up with them, they were about to test their new ensemble in the New South Wales country town of Cootamundra.
Slava, when you first meet him, you think, oh, he's shy and he's very pure, and that he is. You misinterpret him. You think, oh, he's a real somber guy who just came out of the gulag type of approach. But there's this amazing sense of fun in Slava that comes out in his playing and comes out in his humour. He's a pretty vibrant guy. I mean, sure, he is an introvert, and I'm an extrovert.
Simon's a genius musically. He can play anything. I think mentally there's just a quality that for me is unbelievable. His memory is just out of this world. I don't know how he does it.
How do I describe Simon Tedeschi? Well, an Adonis.
He's definitely eccentric in the best possible way.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating to look back into the history of the two instruments independently, how they almost always competed with one another in a sense for popularity. Whenever the guitar or ancestors of the guitar reached an apex in popularity, something would change in the development of the keyboard to elevate that as the solo instrument or the accompanying instrument instead of the guitar.
I never actually thought that the piano and the guitar would get on at all, but it turns out that they have a very similar sort of tone in many ways.
I think musically the combination really works. There are moments when there's definitely an energy, you know, sparks between the guitar and the piano flying. A lot of the old comic duets could be likened to our relationship. Something that, you know, works perfectly but is completely different, you know. I think our background was very different. When I was 13, technically I could play a lot of things, but I still played like a 13-year-old, which is very different for true prodigious talent. You have kids who, you know, at the age of 10 play like they're mature adults, and that's what I think Simon is more like. We had different pressures, whereas I was just a guitarist who really liked to busk and make loads of money on the weekend on the streets. He was, you know, off playing competitions and having very, very different pressures put on him, I suppose.
The word prodigy has always confused me. Number one, I don't really know what a prodigy is. I mean, in many ways, I think it's more a trained seal than a real artist. And I've never, in that sense, I'm not, and I've never been a prodigy. All I know is I just love music and love playing music and just feel at home on stage, and that's been for the whole of my life. I played in Cootamundra before, and I mean, I think tonight's going to be fantastic.
There's almost nothing more than I love, you know, getting in the car, driving for hours, arriving in a tiny town where you play to a great house of people that are genuinely hungry to hear music.
Coffee, tea-making facilities there, and really looking forward to your concert tonight.
Thank you very much.
The problem we encounter in some country locations is the fact that, seeing I'm so much better looking than Slava, he does get a bit resentful about the amount of female interest after the concerts. I mean, let's face it, Cootamundra is a haven, is a haven for that type of thing.
Now, this concert in Cootamundra, you anticipate advance bookings. You say these wonderful international stars are coming to town. The tickets they'll write in, they'll phone up. No, we take our own time and we'll do it our way. And I've now learnt that, okay, don't get in a terrible state over the fact that there's only 20 people booked, because 100 and 150 might come to the door. We still don't know.
Well, the nerves I have before my performance are totally different, and it depends where I'm playing. With Slava, it's less nerves rather than nervous energy. I just want somebody to notice me acting like a fool, basically.
You ready?
Yeah. Okay.
I have had gigs before where you forget that you're actually in front of hundreds of people that have paid to see you, and that's I think that's dangerous, because you really lose the essence of what you're there to do in the first place. So it's not pleasant when you become blasé about the gig. You have to keep the energy up. We love playing together, both really into what we're playing. For me, it's actually exciting to be working with someone younger than myself. I feel like I'm showing this genius the ropes, and for me it's definitely a different role, because I'm usually in his shoes.
Playing with Slava, I mean, it's an experience. It's fantastic. A lot of eye contact there, which is great. And often we'll have a big laugh on stage in the middle of a performance, you know. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know why we didn't do this earlier.
Two remarkable young talents, and their 2-week national tour kicks off in Brisbane on Friday. The producer of that story was Brendan Ward.